Well, hello. Thank you very much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to see you. My name is Iain McInnes, and welcome to this year's American College of Rheumatology Annual Congress. Convergence, it's going to be wonderful. Many of us will be in San Diego to celebrate this festival of rheumatology. Others will be looking at the contents online in the days and weeks and months to come. What we do at the CSF team is we have a good look at the abstracts before the event, and it gives us a chance just to think out loud with you about what might be particularly interesting for you. And today I'm going to tell you about day one. So this is what to expect on Sunday. And we're going to be seeing the first presentations in several areas in the field of cytokine signaling. Let's start with rheumatoid arthritis. There are a number of interesting presentations today. There's a presentation on the efficacy of baricitinib versus TNF inhibitors in patients resistant to CSD-MARDs from Martinus van der Laar, and another by Ronald van Vollenhoven on the 5-year safety and efficacy for upadacitinib monotherapy. Now, these are really important studies that we're going to see. We're asking ourselves the question, where is the added value in Janus kinase inhibition? I think both of these abstracts will give us useful insights. We also have two abstracts detailing recent results of phase 2 studies of novel RA therapies, one from my dear friend and esteemed colleague Peter Taylor, showing the safety and efficacy of nipocalimab. Now, nipocalimab is an FcRn inhibitor. That's a receptor that modulates the half-life of antibodies, particularly autoantibodies in circulation. And by blocking the FcRn, you can actually increase the clearance of potentially pathogenic antibodies. Really interesting new mode of action, and one that's been tested across a whole range of immune-mediated diseases. And another by Xiaofeng Zheng that presents a head-to-head comparison of the novel RA drug TLL-018 and tofacitinib. Briefly, TLL-018, interesting compound this that inhibits particularly JAK1 and TYK2. Tofacitinib, I think you're well aware, is a pan-JAK inhibitor. And this, we are led to believe, may be a superior approach, bringing TYK2 and JAK1 signaling into focus. That, of course, inhibits a whole range of effector cytokines that we do believe are important in the effective pathogenesis of RA. Now, these are early data. Let's look at the presentation with interest and hear the discussion equally with interest. But there's also plenty to see for those of you interested in psoriatic arthritis. I'd like to highlight 3 posters by Philip Mees, who presents the results of a phase 2 deucravacitinib trial. Deucravacitinib is a TYK2 inhibitor, so it's a member of the JAK superfamily. And this is an inhibitor that has already been shown to be highly efficacious in cutaneous psoriasis. And 2 of these abstracts investigate the effects of deucravacitinib on PROs. The third investigates the long-term safety and tolerability of bimekizumab. There's also a presentation of the safety and efficacy of intravenous secukinumab by Alan Givitz. And finally, just to highlight a poster by Elaine Husney that details the effect of bimekizumab therapy on pain and fatigue in PSA patients that are DMARD naive or had an adequate response or intolerance to TNF-alpha inhibitors. And just a quick note, this bimekizumab, in case you're not familiar with it, monoclonal antibody that binds IL-17A and IL-17F. So it's a bispecific, and it's been shown to be quite efficacious in the treatment of people with psoriatic arthritis. So these are follow-on studies to help us really understand the depth of response that might be achieved. And finally, and certainly by no means least, AXPA. We have a poster session featuring, amongst other highlights, a 10-year follow-up of the Desire cohort by Elodie Portier, efficacy and safety data on 2 phase 3 bimekizumab trials by Marina Miat-Magre, and a study by Pankti Mehta on tapering tofacitinib in AXPA patients achieving remission or low disease activity. So these are all dealing with really critical areas of therapies that we either have in clinic or shortly will have in clinic in terms of bimekizumab, I've just described it to you, or tofacitinib, something you're very familiar with. Desire cohort is a long-standing early AXPA cohort, and having that 10-year follow-up is just critical to help us understand the patient disease trajectory. And finally, Lisa de Bruin presents data during the abstract session on a 2-year follow-up of the SPACE cohort, again, a Dutch early AXPA cohort where patients were captured early in their disease so that one can see the prosecution of the disease over time. It's going to be a really fascinating session. Well, those are my top picks for the posters and presentations across day one of this year's ACR. I'm sure you'll have your own favourites, and to be honest, it's going to be an embarrassment of riches for us. First Day really offers a wealth of fascinating information. And as always, don't forget to visit cytokinesignaling.com to view all of our Congress content and register for our Congress Review webinar taking place on the 16th of November. Pop that into your diaries. It's a one-stop shop to make sure you've missed none of the key pearls that are contained in the Congress. These presentations and others are going to be reviewed then by my esteemed colleagues Grace Wright, Sophia Ramiro, and Laura Coates. 16th November. Hope to see you there. And above all else, enjoy your first day at the ACR. Thanks very much.